Building a wooden bridge. Sunlight filters through the trees, birds chirping softly. A small stream winds through the garden, its clear water flowing gently. The family strolls together. The younger brother runs ahead, curious, and heads toward the stream. He bends down to play with the water, tossing a few small stones. Suddenly, he slips. The younger brother falls lightly near the stream, his clothes getting muddy. Mom quickly rushes over. She helps him up and brushes the mud off his clothes. Dad stands nearby, looking at the stream, then at the family. He pauses to think, then his eyes light up. With a gesture, he suggests, "Let's build a small bridge." Mom and the sister nod. The younger brother looks at the stream, then at Dad, excited again. Dad heads to a small shed in the garden. He returns carrying wooden planks, placing them by the stream. Mom comes back with rope. She checks its strength, tying a test knot. The sister and the younger brother each carry a hammer. They stand side by side, waiting for instructions. Building together. Dad sets up the bridge frame first. He places 2 sturdy planks across the stream, aligning them carefully. Mom kneels down, tying the rope to secure the planks at both ends, her hands moving quickly. The sister holds the planks steady. The younger brother hammers the nails in, each strike a bit crooked but full of effort. The sister helps adjust, and the two work in rhythm. Dad checks the bridge one last time, pressing down gently to test its strength. Finished! After a while, the small wooden bridge is complete. The stream flows beneath it, sparkling. The younger brother steps onto the bridge first. It's stable, not wobbling at all. The sister follows, then Mom. Dad crosses last, nodding with satisfaction. The family stands by the stream, admiring the new bridge. The younger brother points at it, smiling brightly. The sister crosses her arms proudly. Mom smiles gently. Dad looks at everyone with warm eyes. Fishing day. The lake sparkles under the sunlight. The water is clear, and from time to time, fish leap out of the water, sending ripples across the surface. The whole family stands by the shore. The younger brother points at the water, jumping with excitement. The sister leans forward, watching every splash. Mom sets a large basket down on the grass. Dad looks around, smiling, ready to begin. Dad opens his bag and takes out a fishing rod. The sister holds a fishing net, giving it a light shake to get used to it. Mom sits beside the basket, gesturing. "Whoever catches a fish, throw it in here." Catching fish. Dad casts the line into the lake. The float bobs gently, trembling with the movement of the water. The sister swings the net quickly. Splash! A fish lands in the net. She quickly tosses it into Mom's basket. Thump! Mom places the fish neatly inside, smiling. In the water, the younger brother chases fish with his bare hands. Fish slip through his fingers. He nearly slips, water splashing everywhere. Dad's float jerks suddenly. He pulls up the rod. A fish thrashes wildly. The sister runs over to help. Father and daughter work together, bringing the fish onto the shore. The fish is tossed into the basket. At last, the younger brother catches a small fish. He lifts his hands high, showing off his prize. The fish flops, splashing water onto his face. The younger brother grins, runs back to shore, and throws the fish into Mom's basket. Mom accepts it, brushing off the water, nodding in approval. Time passes quickly. The basket slowly fills with fish, tails flapping inside. Dad sits down, breathing lightly, his clothes speckled with water. The sister's pants are wet on one side, her hair a bit messy. The younger brother is covered in mud and water, but can't stop smiling. Mom lifts the basket, looking at the catch, then at her family. The whole family stands by the lake. Everyone is wet and messy, but their faces are bright with joy. The first trip to the beach. The car stops near the beach. Waves murmur in the distance, and the breeze carries the salty scent of the sea. Dad takes a deep breath, shading his eyes with one hand as he looks out at the ocean. Mom smiles, holding the younger brother's hand. The sister runs a few steps ahead, her eyes sparkling with excitement. A small wave rolls onto the shore. The water touches the younger brother's feet. He startles and quickly turns back, hiding close against Mom. He clings tightly, his face slightly worried. Mom bends down, hugging him close and gently patting his back to reassure him. With her other hand, she holds a coconut with a straw, takes a sip, and looks completely relaxed. The waves continue to lap softly, no longer as scary as before. After a while, the younger brother peeks out at the sandy beach. His eyes stop on a shimmering seashell. He hesitates for a second, then lets go of Mom's hand. He runs over and bends down to pick up the shell. His face lights up. He hops around happily, holding the shell up high to show off his treasure. Seeing this, the sister runs over, sits down to play with the sand, piling it into small mounds, laughing with delight. Mom takes out her phone, lifts it to take photos. The two children against a backdrop of blue, sea, golden sand, and soft sunlight. Meanwhile, Dad goes to find a lounge chair, pulls it closer, lies down to sunbathe, hands behind his head, looking completely relaxed. After a while, the younger brother sneaks a look toward Dad. He bends down and scoops up a handful of seawater. Splash! He throws water at Dad and bursts into laughter. Dad jolts upright in surprise. Before he can react, Mom steps in and splashes lightly too. The sister joins in, cheering and splashing again and again. Water flies everywhere. Dad pretends to fight back, and the whole family runs around, splashing water and laughing together. The kite flying contest. The whole family walks out onto a wide open field. A gentle breeze blows, and the sky is clear blue. Dad carefully unfolds the kite, checking the frame and the string. Mom spreads a small mat on the ground, smiling, one hand shading her eyes as she looks up at the sky. The sister holds the kite string spool, her eyes focused, a little nervous. The younger brother hops around excitedly, hugging a kite almost as big as himself. Dad gives the signal.
Hey.
The younger brother runs forward, the kite dragging along the ground. The sister holds the string and slowly lets it out. Dad stands behind her, gently placing a hand on her shoulder, guiding each movement. Mom claps to cheer them on as the wind grows stronger. The kite lifts off the ground, trembling slightly, then drops back down. A sudden strong gust of wind blows. The kite shoots up into the sky. The younger brother runs too fast. The string pulls tight, and the kite drags him along without stopping. His feet slip slightly. He leans back but still refuses to let go of the string. The whole family gasps, then bursts out laughing. Mom runs after him a few steps. Dad reaches out to catch him, but the younger brother keeps getting pulled around in circles like an unwilling athlete. Stability and victory. At last, Dad quickly grabs the string. The sister plants her feet firmly and adjusts the rhythm of letting the string out. The younger brother finally stops, panting, then breaks into a wide grin. The kite gradually stabilizes, flying higher, flying straight. Gently gliding across the clear blue sky, the whole family lifts their heads to look up. Mom folds her arms, her face glowing with joy. Dad nods in satisfaction. The sister holds the string steadily, full of pride. The younger brother plops down on the ground, gazing up at the highest flying kite he has ever seen. The camera tilts up, following the kite. The kite grows smaller against the blue sky. Morning jog. Early morning. A thin mist floats over the lake. The first sunlight peeks through the trees, and the air feels fresh and cool. The whole family stands by the running path around the lake. Dad warms up his shoulders and legs. Mom adjusts her shoelaces. The older sister stretches her arms and takes a deep breath. The younger brother bounces in place, full of energy. Crease, cross. Starting the run. The family begins jogging slowly around the lake. Their footsteps fall into a gentle rhythm. The younger brother soon picks up speed, running ahead. His arms swing strongly, his steps light and quick. He glances back with a confident smile. The sister keeps a steady pace. Mom runs behind, her breathing calm but slower. Getting tired. After some distance, Dad starts to breathe heavily, his shoulders drooping slightly. His pace slows. Mom notices and White Gull slows down. Running beside Dad, she looks over at him, checking in with her eyes. The younger brother runs far ahead, then suddenly stops. He turns around and looks back at the family. A moment of connection. The younger brother runs back toward them. He comes up to Dad. He takes Dad's hand, giving a gentle pull. Father and son run together, their pace slower but more even. Dad looks at his son and smiles, taking a deep breath to recover. He squeezes his son's hand gently. The sister and Mom follow behind, smiling at the scene. Ending. The whole family runs in one line, at a comfortable pace. The sunlight rises higher, sparkling on the lake. Their shadows stretch long along the path. Their footsteps move in harmony. Final frame. A family jogging by the lake in the morning. No one left behind. Small boat ride. Early morning. The lake surface is calm, with a thin mist still hovering above the water. The car stops by the shore. Mom, the older sister, and the younger brother step out first, standing close together and posing for photos. All three smile brightly. At the back of the car, Dad opens the trunk, takes out 2 small boats, and gently places them at the water's edge. Out on the lake, the family splits into 2 boats. Dad and the younger brother sit in one boat. Mom and the older sister sit in the other. The 2 boats push off from the shore and drift gently toward the middle of the lake. The sister sits upright, curiously looking around. Mom rows calmly, occasionally turning back to look at the 2 father and son behind them. A small incident.
Whoa!
The younger brother leans down and plays with the water using his hand. Water splashes, sparkling under the sunlight. The boat begins to tilt slightly. The younger brother panics, flailing his arms. Dad immediately grabs him, pulling him closer to sit safely. On the other boat, Mom notices and turns around. She opens her bag, takes out life jackets, and hands them over to Dad. Then, Mom and the sister put on their life jackets as well. Dad takes out 2 fishing rods from a small box. He gives one to the younger brother. He keeps one for himself. The father and son sit side by side, lowering their lines into the water. The lake reflects their silhouettes, peaceful and still. On the nearby boat, Mom opens a food basket. She takes out snacks and fruit. She hands them to the sister. The 2 enjoy their food while looking around, relaxed and at ease. A small fish wiggles, making the float on the line bob gently. The younger brother's eyes widen as he grips the rod tightly. Dad places a hand on his shoulder, guiding him gently. The whole family laughs happily, their laughter softly echoing over the still water. Climbing the tree to pick fruit. Morning in the garden. Sunlight filters through green leaves. In the middle of the garden stands a large apple tree, its branches heavy with ripe red apples, gently swaying in the breeze. The whole family stands beneath the tree. The younger brother looks up, his eyes shining. The older sister shades her eyes with her hand, staring at the highest apples. Mom smiles, standing calmly behind them. Dad looks around, thinking. The younger brother bends his knees and jumps up, reaching as high as he can. His fingers stretch, but still can't reach. The sister picks up a long stick and steps back a little. She lifts it up and taps at the branch. The branch shakes slightly, the apples wobble, but none fall. The younger brother looks at his sister, then back up at the apples, a bit disappointed. The 2 siblings stand under the tree, gazing upward, catching their breath. Mom walks away for a moment, then returns with a mat. She spreads it out under the shade of the tree. Mom sits down comfortably, signaling everyone to rest for a bit. The sister sits beside Mom. The younger brother squats nearby, his eyes still fixed on the apples above. Dad disappears behind the shed. A moment later, he comes back carrying a ladder. Dad places the ladder securely against the trunk. He checks each step and nods. Dad climbs the ladder carefully. He reaches the higher branches and picks the apples one by one. The younger brother claps excitedly. The sister stands up, watching every move. Mom looks up, smiling with relief. Dad climbs down and hands an apple to each person. The younger brother hugs the biggest apple to his chest. The sister turns hers in her hand, delighted. Mom takes one and gently wipes it clean. The apple tree stands quietly in the sunshine, and beneath it, a family gathered together, eating fruit and laughing happily. Trip to the farm, morning at the farm. The whole family steps out of the car, looking at the lush green fields. The older sister and younger sibling take a deep breath, their eyes shining. Mom hands the seeds to Dad, points to the garden bed.
Let's go.
Dad rolls up his sleeves and nods with determination. The sister and siblings spot the chickens and cows, point excitedly. Dad and Mom. Dad digs a bit too hard. Dirt splashes onto his shirt. Mom neatly sows the seeds, adjusting the vegetable rows. The younger sibling scatters grain for the chickens. The chickens rush over, clucking. The older sister carries a bucket of grass for the cows. The cows lower their heads and eat slowly. The two kids laugh with delight. Suddenly, a camel walks over from somewhere. The youngest gets scared and steps back. The youngest turns and runs away, and the animal runs after them. At a corner wall, the youngest has nowhere else to go and stands still, eyes closed. Suddenly, the camel slows down, stops, and eats the handful of grass in the youngest's hand. It turns out it was only following because of the food. The youngest pats its head, and the older brother runs over to play too. Scene change. Mom and Dad stand happily, watching the two kids play with the livestock. The kids ride on the camel's back, strolling around the farm. A chicken suddenly flies over, lands on the camel's head, and crows loudly. The siblings burst into laughter. After a while, Mom and Dad return to the vegetable garden. The kids hop down and walk over as well. The whole family works together. Dad carries a basket of vegetables. Mom waters the plants. The older sister closes the chicken coop gate. She neatly places the feed bucket. Everyone looks at each other and nods in satisfaction. The family sits resting under a tree. Chickens peck at grain nearby. Cows chew grass slowly. Dad gives a thumbs up. The whole family smiles happily. Today is a lovely day. A perfect day for a walk. But then, the family finds a puddle. The puddle is not very big, but it is not very small, and it is very wet. Daddy Pig thinks he can easily step over the puddle. But the puddle has other plans. When one person laughs, everyone starts laughing. The puddle is actually very fun. When everyone is wet, nobody is wet alone. And that is why this family of pigs loves going for walks. Paper boat day. The river flows slowly, sunlight shimmering on the water. The whole family sits together by the riverbank. Colorful sheets of paper lie in front of each person, folding the boats. The older sister sits upright, folding her paper carefully. The creases are neat and straight, forming a small, well-balanced boat. Dad holds a larger sheet of paper. He folds slowly, using firm hands. His boat turns out big and sturdy, with a wide base. The younger brother sits nearby, struggling a bit. One side folds crooked, the other gets wrinkled. His boat looks misshapen, with a bent tip and uneven sides. The younger brother looks at his boat, then at the other two. He scratches his head. Shyly, Mom sits behind them, watching everything, smiling gently. The family stands up and walks closer to the water. The 3 paper boats are placed carefully on the river's surface. Dad gives a signal with his eyes. All 3 gently release their boats at the same time. The boats begin to drift with the current. Watching closely, the sister's boat moves straight and steady, but slowly. Dad's boat is heavier, stable, but it doesn't go very far. The younger brother's boat wobbles at first. Everyone thinks it might sink soon. Suddenly, a small current nudges the crooked boat toward the middle of the river. It glides faster, pulling ahead of the others. The younger brother's eyes widen. He runs along the riverbank, following his boat. The sister and Dad stop and stare. They look at each other in surprise. The younger brother's boat travels the farthest, becoming a tiny dot in the distance. The younger brother jumps up, pointing excitedly. The sister laughs. Dad claps loudly. Mom steps closer and gently pats the younger brother's head. The whole family stands together, clapping and laughing happily. The afternoon sun paints the riverbank in warm gold.